just tell you straight up, you better strap yourselves in and get ready for a bumpy ride. Because today I'm taking on the toughest, most maddening people on the entire planet. I'm talking about passive-aggressive personalities. You all know them. You all know them. You're married to them. You work with them. They're the ones who won't look you in the eye or tell you what they're really thinking. But they are going to get you. They are going to get you. And then on top of that, I'm going to talk to some of these yeah buts. Everything you say, hey, good news, you're getting a big tax refund. Yeah, but my car will probably break down. And there goes the extra cash. Or you give a compliment. Don't you look spiffy in that new dress? Yeah, but my butt looks too big. Many think these folks never get better, but I am an incurable optimist. I have some tools to try. I am going to charge this machine gun nest. Somehow, some way, we're going to find a tool you can use. My first guest, Tamara, does battle every day with her passive-aggressive husband. Take a look.
I feel like I'm going crazy. Living with a passive-aggressive man is devastating. I'm hurt all the time. I'm living with somebody that rarely says what he means and rarely means what he says.
I don't feel that I'm being passive-aggressive. I think the clashes typically start as my feeling that Tamara's getting mad about something, and that tends to make me clam up.
He either is late or doesn't follow through on a commitment or runs away.
A lot of times it's my way of dealing with my frustration of having so much to do at work, not wanting to put myself in a situation where I then have to deal with issues at home and have those brought to the forefront.
And he goes places that I'm not able to reach him at. 3 hours will go by, 4 hours go by, and pretty soon I realize he won't be back till the next morning.
I think the drives are a way to punish Tamara. I rationalize them as a way for me to get out of the house, to remove myself from the situation because I don't know how else to handle it.
It's particularly bad if I'm vulnerable. His whole thing is to try to show me he doesn't care. If I say that we'll go on vacation without you, he just lets us go on vacation without him.
I act in ways that I have to know on some level are self-destructive because I keep doing the same things over and over, and I keep getting the same response.
I'm living in a situation that I feel now is out of my control. DrPhil, I would really like to know, how does one deal with a passive-aggressive man?
So how long you guys been married?
Been married for almost 3 years.
3 years.
Just over 3 years.
And you dated how long before you got married?
6 years.
6 years.
6 years. So you knew this before you married him?
I saw some of the signs, but it's actually gotten worse as time has gone on.
Would that be a yes?
Yeah, I guess sort of yes. I didn't understand it, though.
You started this a long time before you ever met her, isn't that true?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I mean, listen, this is a hard thing to deal with because passive-aggressives are passive-aggressive. They won't plug in with you. They won't grab hold with you. You know, I practiced for years and years before I ever did this. 2 hardest populations to deal with were paranoids that really did have somebody after them. Those are tough. You know, I mean, think about it. You got a paranoid and they really do have like one person after them. You can never crack them because they say, oh, well, what about Becky? She put sugar in my gas tank. You telling me she didn't? No, she did, but that doesn't mean the rest of the world is after you. And passive-aggressives, because whatever you say, they'd say, sure, no problem. Good point, Doc. And then go out and do exactly what they wanted to do anyway, because the aggressive part is there. There is aggression. It's just not confrontational. Do you agree that you do have aggressive feelings, you do have anger, you do have emotions, and you do express them, just not in a confrontive way?
I do.
And you
Absolutely.
do it in what ways?
By avoiding things or by doing the actions that I know will either hurt Tamara or displease her.
Yeah. You sabotage things, don't you?
I do.
You can sabotage things, you can unplug, you can avoid them, but never do you step up and say, look, lady, I don't want to do that. That's just not part of what you're comfortable with, right?
No, it's not.
All right, now, you say the marriage is on the ropes if this continues. Tell me why you say that. What's it doing to you when he does what he does?
Well, the sabotaging and punishing me it's very painful. I'm hurt on a regular basis and filled with anger, and I just don't, it's not living the life that I want to live. I would like to have a happy, successful family. And it's really hard when somebody's throwing out roadblocks all the time. And I feel crazy. I feel like I can't have a conversation with them. I don't feel like I can be who I truly am.
You know, I wrote about the passive-aggressive personality in Life Strategies, which is the first book I did a long, long time ago. And I had you guys, before you came on here, I had you go to the Life Strategies workbook and fill out some important questionnaires.
That's right.
And you did that, right?
Yes.
And one of the things that it asks you to do in here, under owning my own feelings, as it says, as you continue to study the 10 life laws, you will come back to the question again and again, what do I want to change? What is the life circumstance that I do not like? And it talks about accountability. Everything you talked about wanting to change had to do with Richard. You wanted to change him. And everything that you wanted to change had to do with you, which seems to me to be a real healthy way to approach this, because life law number 2 is you create your own experience. You at least are owning what you do. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
I mean, and you said on the tape, I am avoidant. I do these things. I realize that it may be hurting her, but I do create my own experience. I do own that.
Right.
You're looking at this as just totally his problem. He needs to fix this, right?
No, I'm not. I think
Really?
that the life circumstance that I want to change, I guess, is in my marriage, related to my marriage.
Yeah. Did you not understand the assignment?
Well, I think I also put things in there about my anger, you know, that I really would like
At him?
to. Well, yeah.
I think that at times not calling is an intentional slight. I'm so angry at whatever's been going on that it's a way to get back at Tamara.
They're angry, they hate authority, procrastination is their middle name, and they're totally out of touch with their feelings. I'm talking about people who are passive-aggressive. Tamara says her husband is a poster child for this problem. Now, it happens in a matter of degree. And one of the things that I'm really pleased about is that you are saying, I recognize this in myself. You're not totally oblivious to this, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay, and let me say that I want you to know that I am not saying that because you've adopted this pattern that you're some kind of bad person, or that you're some kind of evil person, or that you have a bad hope or wish for this marriage. But behaviors often start for one reason and then continue for another. And one of the things that I see in the history of passive-aggressive people more often than not is that someone early in their life was very controlling, very authoritarian, very directive of everything that they did at a time when the individual didn't have much ability to resist or fight back. This probably happened at a time in your life when it probably made pretty good sense. You picked up that pattern early on, and that's what I meant when I said this happened long before you met
Yes.
Tamara. Is that accurate? Who were the two women?
My mom and my sister. And I see myself acting towards Tamara the same way that I acted towards my mom, especially, and my sister sometimes. That the easiest way to deal with something is to just avoid it.
And what I'm saying is that was fairly efficient. It worked at the time.
Right.
But this is a new time. And this is a new woman.
Right.
And that's why I said it really bothers me that the vast majority of what you wrote down was what you want to fix about him, because he's lived that before.
Right.
He's lived before with women that have had a very strong idea about what he needed to do and not do.
But I like myself. There's not a lot, I mean, I I like who I am, you know, and I realize that my personality is very strong, and that may be the same pattern for him. I don't know, I am strong, I've been in leadership roles before and in management, but I am not trying to control Richard. Richard always has choices. I think he feels that he doesn't have choices, but he doesn't allow that to happen. He runs away before we can even have conversations.
That sounds so much like a mother talking about their child.
I know. Maybe that's it.
I mean, does it not? Is it just me? Because I mean, I could be wrong. It just sounded very parent-child to me. It just sounded like saying, well, but you know, I am very strong, and now Richard, he needs to do this, and he needs to do that. And I get that. I'm not asking you to be somebody you're not, but if you are an intelligent, competent woman, and you have a range of ways that you can engage your partner, and what I want to do is I want to plug in for you some communication skills, some commitments that you have to have in order to not feel like you have to run. Let me walk you through them, and then we'll talk about them. And this is what I call communicating with emotional integrity. And the whole idea here is you have a well-learned pattern of how you deal with problems, tension, stress, or conflict, and it is to run from or avoid her.
Right.
And I want you to not do that. And so we're going to talk about communication with emotional integrity. Now, emotional integrity means that you have to be willing to test and be tested. Emotional integrity means you don't have to say everything you're thinking, but what you do say has to be accurate. Like if I come to you and say, are you upset? You can't say no if in fact you are. You have to know that you're going to tell each other the truth. Emotional integrity, you got to be willing to test and be tested. And then there's a pattern. If you get input, she comes to you and says, A, B, C, and D. Yeah, I'm upset about something, here's what it is. You get the input, that's the number one step. The second thing is you have to reflect content. The next thing is you have to reflect feeling. And let me tell you what that means. What you have to do, see, you get so inefficient here that you don't talk about what really is going on, and we're miscommunicating. You send A, you hear L. You send back 4, she hears 9. And isn't that what's happening?
Bingo.
So you have to reflect content and feeling. You've got to say, all right, Tamara, what I hear you saying content-wise is that you're upset with me because I won't go with you to this event. And the feeling I'm getting is resentment. Okay? You've got to, before you respond, you got to make sure you're hearing the right thing. You've got to say that. Before you respond, you got to say, here's what I hear you saying, here's what I perceive you feeling. All right? And if you then clarify, you say at that point, that's correct, now you can respond. And if you don't, you have to correct it if he's wrong.
Right.
Okay, now you can respond. You got to accept the feedback that you get. If she says, no, I really don't care whether you go to the event or not. What I'm upset about is that you didn't tell me till now. Then you can say, okay, fine. So it's not about the event. We can put that off. What you're upset about is that I waited till the last second and left you hanging, where now you don't have some things covered. So, okay, then let's talk about that. You accept that feedback, and then you respond. And when you respond to her, you got to do the same thing. Now you have to ask for her to reflect content. You have to ask for her to reflect feeling, so you can hear if she got what you said. And if she did, fine. If she didn't, then you clarify. You say, no, that's not it. All right, and then I've got them written down for you. I'm going to give these to you. And then it's just kind of like wash, rinse, and repeat. Then you just go back through the whole cycle again.
Yeah.
And understand, this is very mechanical, but you got to know, he doesn't know how to do this. The skills he has are duck and weave. Trying to get him in a conversation is like trying to sack fog. You know, you can see it, but the closer you get, it just disappears.
Right. I think that's.
And isn't that right? You just kind
is.
of, you kind of duck and weave. Now, 2 important rules that I've written down for you here is you got to stay in the moment. There is no time in here when you can go out of the moment and start talking about history. You can't say, you always do that. Last summer you did that. That's what you did last. No, you got to stay in the moment. The only time is now. And the last rule, you can't leave. You can't leave. But here's the good news. There's a time limit. Negotiate a time limit. You're going to talk about it for an hour, and if you get to that point, you stop. You got to give him an out. Because if you know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, don't you think you can do this?
Yeah.
Okay. See, because men look at that. They really do. If a woman comes to a man and says, "Can we talk?" it's like their whole life evaporates in front of them. It's like, I'm going to be a prisoner here forever. And if they know if I do this for an hour, then I get a break here, and we can go back. And I know this is very mechanical, but I want you to think about this and follow these rules. And if you will sit down and talk to her, she is your number one ally in this world. Is that true or false?
Absolutely, true.
And will you work to help him rather than pressure him?
Absolutely, yeah.
See, that's what it's all about. You're running from your greatest ally, and that's one of the things that passive aggressives don't understand. You run from the people that want to help you the most because you don't want any friction there. Will you guys do this?
Yes.
I'm going to, absolutely.
Because I'm going to give you the card. I'm going to give you this, and I'll make some notes on it for you if you need to. I'm going to give you the card. I want you to step through it, and you can set the time limit at 30 minutes or an hour or whatever you think you can take.
Okay.
In the beginning, and then you've got a plugged-in rule where he has to engage you, and you follow these steps. All right, Laura has what employers like to call alligator syndrome. While she's dragging her tail around at work, everybody else has to carry her load. In other words, she's passive-aggressive. Now, unlike others, Laura actually wrote this letter and turned herself in. So take a look.
Dear Dr. Phil, I'm a very passive-aggressive person who is constantly wishy-washy, hides hurt feelings, uses a silent treatment whenever I don't want to deal with someone, complains about a person in my life one minute, then is sweet and nice and forgiving the next. I might say, "Oh, that's okay," but I can hold the longest grudge ever. I'd rather lie to someone than break bad news. I prefer to turn the other cheek instead of face a conflict. Confrontation is a 4-letter word to me. I tell people maybe, but then make up excuses at the last minute. I think I'm doing people favors by being passive when really what I'm doing is driving them nuts. I have a hard time saying no and standing up for myself. Dr. Phil, can you help me change? The sooner the better. Sincerely, Laura from Michigan.
Well, who chose this? Who chose this?
Me.
So why not just unchoose it? What do you mean you want me to help you with this? If you know this, if you wrote the letter, if you described yourself as doing all of these things, why don't you just quit doing them?
I wish I could.
You can. You can, but the question is, why haven't you already? Because you know that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you happy.
No.
It doesn't get you what you want.
No.
And the truth is, you play the nice guy, but you're really not very nice at all, are you?
I'm nice. I'm nice.
Really?
I mean, yeah, I think that I'm a nice person, but if you hurt my feelings, I'm not going to bend over backwards for you.
Well, let's just look at some of the things you said. Did you say that if you're given an assignment at work that you don't like, you just screw it up and don't do it?
Well, it's not an assignment that I was given that I don't like. If I'm having, a little situation with a coworker that there's hurt feelings involved, I'm not gonna rush and do it and be happy and do her favors. Instead of addressing the problem and it's not even about the work assignment. It could be about she said something not very nice to me, and I'm not going to go out of my way.
Well, it's more than not going out of your way. Isn't it true that you pout about it, you carry a grudge about it, you sabotage her and things that are involved with her, and that you practice guerrilla warfare and describe yourself, in fact, as the gossip queen?
Yeah.
Now, these are your words, not mine, but don't write me one thing and come sit down up here and tell me something else.
Oh, I know.
I don't think you do. See, I don't play the passive-aggressive game. I hold people accountable for what they say and do, and that's what you said you do.
Yeah.
So do you or do you not? So it's not just a matter of, well, I don't go out of my way to help them. The truth is you tell stories about them, you do what you can to make their life miserable, and you'll wait 5 years to get even if that's what it takes. You are very vindictive. True or false?
True.
Okay, so why are you telling us you're not?
I don't like to hear it.
Yeah, oh, I bet the
But-
people you work with don't like to feel it either.
Probably not.
Where's your coworker?
Just right there.
Right
Where?
here.
So, what's the story? You work with her. What's your
Yes.
name?
I'm Julie.
All right, Julie, tell us what she's like to work with.
As far as her passiveness, she can never say no. She avoids the confrontations. If she has a problem with somebody, she doesn't confront them. She'll come to someone else, one of her friends, and tell them, "Oh, so and so did this, and she hurt my feelings," and it's just a very unhealthy way to vent. And
Yeah. I agree.
What are you afraid you're going to lose if you just stand up for yourself and say something to a coworker or someone else about how you really feel?
I get people back instead of going to their face and just communicating. I'll make little rude comments and I'll ignore them and not include them for the rest of the day.
Laura has a theory about life. Never show your anger, exaggerate what's wrong in your life, blame everyone else for your failures, and whatever you do, don't do your share at work because somebody could be getting advantage of you. Now, Laura, by her own description, is passive-aggressive, but is it really working for her? And you must think this isn't working.
No.
So
And it
what
was-
are you afraid you're going to lose if you do step up to Julie or anyone else and say, wait a minute, this isn't right, it isn't fair, you've hurt my feelings, you've done something unacceptable. What are you afraid you're going to lose if you do that?
I think that I'm going to lose maybe friendship, their respect. I think by not doing that, I'm going to gain more than I'm going to lose. Like I want my opinion to matter to that person, so I'm not going to go off on them.
So your theory is that in order to be tolerated, in order to be permitted to stay, you can't dare tell somebody that you're upset with them. But yet you still have this need to get even if they've hurt you. So you say, no, really, it's okay. And then you drop back and try to hurt them in other ways. Right? Why did you choose that way of being in this world? What caused you to have so little value in yourself that you couldn't stand up for who you are?
It was easy. I didn't have to put myself out there to be judged.
But is it pain-free behind that wall?
No.
Because you see, it's like if I step out here, I might get hurt. If I stay behind the wall, I'm guaranteed to be hurt.
So it's taking a risk.
There's no risk behind the wall. You're guaranteed to get hurt.
Right.
You've lost for sure. But if you, what do you stand to gain? You said that what you lose is that they would say, well, if you're going to make demands or have a requirement, then you don't get to be our friend. You don't get to stay. You don't get to be here. That's what you're afraid you would lose. What could you gain if you stepped out front and said, hey, listen, we got to talk about this because I think that was really unfair and it really hurt me, and I'm going to require you to treat me with dignity and respect. If you did that, what could you gain?
It looks pretty good. I think I could gain some great communication skills and not be so afraid of rejection.
No, but what would you gain inside? I know you would pick up the skills. I know you might even get them to start treating you differently.
Yeah.
But how would you feel in here if you stood up for yourself and you knew that? If you looked in the mirror and said, you know, today I stood up for myself.
It'd be great.
How would it feel?
Wonderful.
What would you say to yourself if you did that?
Yes.
But you have no chance of that behind this wall. You have no chance of it if you just run, hide, and shoot at them from far away.
But it's safe.
No, it's not safe. It's just known. You know, pain that you have every day of your life is like a not very good old friend. It's not a good friend, it's an old friend. You know what it's like. Because let me tell you what it's like behind that wall. You put yourself down, you feel excluded, and more than anything else, you feel lonely. Don't you get tired of feeling lonely?
Yeah. Sometimes I think I'm the only one who understands why I'm hurt, too. And that's not a very, I mean, that's a lonely feeling.
Of course it's a lonely feeling. And we can't read your mind. You got to tell her. You got to tell her that if you feel like a second-class citizen because you only work 2 days a week and so they don't take you seriously and don't put you in the mainstream of things, I do my homework.
Yeah, you do.
Then you got to be willing to say that. And if people know, I didn't know you felt that way, then they have an opportunity to respond to you. Yeah. So the choice you got to make is, do I stay with a known pain behind this wall, or do I stop these things that I'm not very proud of and step out and say, guys, I just got to tell you how I feel. Because my theory is, you know, they can't kill you. And if they kill you, they can't eat you. I mean, how bad can it get? My next guest has a bad case of bad attitude. Every time she opens her mouth, a yeah, but jumps out. No matter what the compliment or good news, it's yeah, but. Her friends say that Mallory's attitude is a real problem. Take a look.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, but.
We call Mallory a little ray of sunshine because she's very negative.
Megan, shut up, no.
Over there.
No.
Well, if I apply myself, I can be smart, but most of the time, I'm kind of just lazy.
It's not just like a once in a while thing. This is an everyday occurrence.
Yeah, but.
If I wear a sweater or a pair of jeans that I like, and they'll be like, oh, you look really nice today, I'll say something like, oh, thanks, but I don't think so. I hate this dress. My legs are white. I can't wear it.
It's a pretty color.
I hate it.
As far as guys go, she has a real problem.
Hey, Mels, Anthony's over there.
He's so cute. Oh my god, I like him so much.
Why don't you go talk to him?
Because I'll go over there and I'll say something really stupid and then I'll look like an idiot.
Yeah, but. When she wanted to tell a guy how she felt, she would have said, yeah, but he's gonna hate me.
If I try to just make them see that things might not happen the way they want them to.
We've definitely thought about just leaving Mallory out of everything. She brings us down.
What really turns me off about Mallory is that she's constantly, you know, are you guys my friends? Do you guys hate me? It's always stuff like that. And there doesn't seem to be anything that makes her genuinely happy.
There have been moments where I'm happy and optimistic, briefly. And then usually I find a reason why that won't possibly happen.
I don't know if anything would actually really help her. I mean, we're as close as we can be to her, but it seems like nothing we say or do can help her.
DrPhil, please help me to become a more positive person and stop making all my friends feel bad for being friends with me. That was horrible. Let me do that again. Oh my god.
So what is up with this?
I don't know.
What is your theory?
I really don't know.
Well, if you did know, what would it be?
I just don't know. Like, I just probably things from growing up have kind of made me be like this.
Yeah. You're driving your friends crazy. You realize that?
Yeah.
You think she's a downer?
Oh, she's definitely a downer. She's definitely a negative person.
Yeah. And that drags you guys down.
Oh, yeah, because then it gets annoying and we don't want to hang out with her anymore. I mean, I love Mallory, I do, but she's just so negative about everything. Like, we'll get excited about things, and then she doesn't get excited, or she'll find some excuse to bring it down or be negative about it.
Okay, what's your payoff for that?
I just try not to look forward to things because I'm afraid that if I look forward to something, it's going to get ruined, and then I'll just be miserable anyway, so why not just start right off from the bat?
Well, that's right. Why waste time being happy if you could get started on your misery right now?
Yeah.
Get in some more misery time. Is that the story?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, now, look, you understand that this is your excuse to bail out. This is your excuse to sit on the sidelines and not participate in life. Do you get that? Mm-hmm. And it is, and see, when you see people that say, well, I'd like to be more involved, but I just have low self-esteem, or I'm scared. That is not a reason, that is an excuse to sit on the sidelines and watch your life pass you by. And what I want to know is at what point in your life you decided that it was okay for you to sit on the sidelines?
I don't know, I am an outgoing person, but then something will happen and I'll just decide that, well, this isn't right, or I don't want to do this, or just something will happen. I just get real worried and I chicken out.
Okay, but let me ask you something. If you spend all your life worried and then you get to the end of it and nothing horrible ever happens, aren't you going to feel really dumb? No, I'm serious. It's like you spend the whole life thinking, something horrible is going to happen, something horrible is going to happen. I'm now 20, I'm now 30, I'm now 40, I'm now 50, I'm now 60. And then you stand up about the day you're going to die and say, well, damn. I spent all of that time waiting for something horrible to happen and it just didn't. Wouldn't that seem like a wasted life?
Yeah.
And if something bad does happen, what is it that makes you think you can't handle it?
I don't know. I think a lot of it's from my mom. Like, I love my mom to death, but she's a worrywart, and she worries all the time, and I think she instilled that upon me to make me constantly worried about what's going to happen.
Yeah. So this is her fault?
No, it's not her fault.
This is your fault.
It's my fault. First of all, I'd like to be a lot happier. I'm not saying I'm unhappy, but I'd like to see the silver lining in every cloud.
Okay. People are really amazing at how they reason through how their life is going to work, all the way down to superstition. And you just told me before we took the break, you said, I feel like I'm going to jinx myself. If I get excited about something, then it'll just go bad and I'll be miserable, so why even bother getting up for it, right? Mm-hmm. And then at the break, I said, you realize this is a choice and you're making it? And you said what?
No, it's not a choice.
This is not a choice?
No.
Okay, so you're not choosing to be negative?
No, because if I could actually be happy and not so negative, be more of an optimistic person, I would be.
Really? So if you're not choosing this, who is?
I don't know.
Well, I got a minute. Think about it. If you're not choosing your attitude, who is?
I don't really. It's heredity. I don't know, like.
Oh, so you think you're just genetically negative?
Yeah.
Okay, you just got that negative gene in there. Okay. Okay, that's a possibility. But is it also possible that you have this internal dialogue going on in your head that you have just gotten in a comfort zone of being negative because that way you have nothing to lose? I have no joy, I have no excitement, so I have nothing to lose.
That could be a possibility.
Isn't that the safest way to play the game?
Yeah.
And is that what she does?
That's exactly what she does. She'll just make excuses not to do something, and I think it's because she doesn't want to be hurt if something bad does happen, but she's always making excuses.
All right, and the rest of you go on and have fun. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it works out. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it doesn't work out.
Exactly.
Sometimes you have a good time, sometimes you have a bad time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes things go well, sometimes you don't do well.
Exactly, but Mallory won't even take that risk. If she has the slightest inclination that she's going to be hurt or that something's going to happen where she's going to feel bad, she just won't risk it at all.
And you said, if I could be happy, wouldn't I? And in kind of a distorted way, I think you are happy. I think you have gotten so comfortable in this that it's what you know and it's what you embrace and it's familiar. And so it's like, if I don't take a risk, nothing ventured, nothing gained, but also if I don't take a risk, then it's not, the pain is not going to be acute. It's just I'll just be negative. And that way I got nothing invested. So You know, what's the big problem? Right?
Right.
So why would you want to change that? I'm wanting you to take risk. I'm wanting you to put it on the line. I'm wanting you to risk getting hurt. Why would you want to change that?
Because I am sick of losing friends, and I'm sick of having people tell me all the time that I bring them down or that I'm too negative. I mean, my dad even tells me that he thinks I'm happy being miserable, so.
Yeah, well, that's just what I just told you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dads are smart like that. Dads are smart like that. And I don't think you want to change this. I think you think this is the best place for you to be. What do you think?
I think that a part of me wants to change, but another part of me is safe, and I like being safe. I don't like change. I don't like to try something where I know I'm going to get hurt, because I have been hurt by people before, so I'd rather be safe than put myself out there just to be.
Yeah. And so what you're really doing is saying, I'm just giving myself permission to sit over here and just let my friends drag me. And y'all are tired of dragging her, right?
Definitely.
I mean, do you get that?
Yeah.
They're going to say, hey, you know what? If you want to sit on the sidelines and be sad the rest of your life, get after it. That's what you're telling you. And the choice you got to make is, do you want to do that, or do you want to quit feeling sorry for yourself and quit whining about what isn't and get out there in the game and play like the rest of us? Take a few risks.